you take the roll, please?
Steve Rieger,
Here.
Patricia Redmond,
Here.
Mary Ann Burke,
Here.
also present, Herbert Jones, municipal clerk, and
Emily Lewis, minutes clerk.
So in the packet, we have the minutes of the last meeting.
I have reviewed the minutes and I move that we approve them as presented.
Second that motion.
Do I need to say my name?
Okay. Is there any objection to approving the minutes? Hearing none, the minutes are approved. Is there any old business?
you've got lots of old business. Are
Okay.
you ready?
We're ready.
Okay. So this I didn't copy, but this was probably one of the best things that I found. It's too old, so I didn't make copies of it for you, but I'm just going to leave it for you, all right? Because I figure you've got plenty to talk about. You don't need to. So then, the next set of stuff that I've made for you, there's one copy for each of you. And I'll just start with this packet. Okay. And one is for Mary Ann.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, so
read my book.
the top document says, and I should have had someone awesome like Emily making these copies for me today, but I got involved in some other things. So the top page is the salary and benefits for the mayor for 2013. Page 2, salary and benefits for the mayor for 14. Page 3, salary and benefits assembly for 13. And page 4 is salary and benefits assembly for 14. Now, that doesn't mean you're prohibited from giving them an increase in 14. It would just be a first quarter budget amendment. And that's not a problem. It's just a projection. Okay. Then the next page, I've got excerpts from the Alaska Municipal Benefits Salary Survey. And the most embarrassing thing is that Anchorage isn't on it. So I apologized to the Municipal League and told them we'd correct that for next year. But those are mayors on the first page and second page of that document. And then assembly on the third and fourth. Assembly Council.
Your round numbers. So this is average wage. I'm sorry, I'm down to the
Yeah.
mayor page. Is that taking an annual? Well, you might not know. Is it taking
Yep.
an annual salary and dividing by 2,000?
2080. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. And you know what? I meant to get calculators for you. I'll run up and grab a couple of calculators.
Oh, I've got
Okay.
a phone.
It's okay.
I mean-
We have a phone.
Do you want more than one? Okay. All right.
Just have to figure out.
But they're all paid, they're not all paid a yearly salary. Are they?
Oh, well, that's a good question. Oh, yeah, some have a
Yes.
0 and then a footnote.
Mhm.
And obviously they're like, because they're not full-time.
Right.
So I've got some more information for you if you're ready for that. Okay, there's one packet for you and Mary Ann, and this. Okay, so this is the national data, and then the
Okay.
school board data is here. So the first one, I looked nationally and there's very, very little. So that's just the first 3 pages. It just talks about legislators, right at the bottom of page 2, and then onto the top of page 3. So that one's not very important. And then I got some demographic data. I pulled, and you've got that demographic chart. So I looked at Anchorage. I think we're like 52 or something like that. And then I randomly picked a couple of, and I'm going to just look on with you.
It's not 52.
Oh, so I said that wrong.
This seems still too big.
We're 3, right there, 67. Okay. So I looked around 67. I looked at St. Louis, Corpus Christi, Riverside.
My hometown.
Are you there?
Yeah.
Fayette, Lexington, Fayette County, Stockton, and Greensboro. Okay, now let me double check and make sure I didn't pick anybody there. I looked at Santa Ana too. Okay, so then, and I'm glad I picked them then because there wasn't a lot of data.
Yeah.
So then, if you turn to the next couple of pages,
What was your basis for picking those?
size.
Size?
You told me to pick ones
Right.
that were the same size as Anchorage, so that's why I picked them. And then I didn't pick Newark because Newark is just a city in a huge metropolitan area, which Anchorage isn't. Aurora, Colorado is, I think, like Aurora, Denver, Littleton. It's just a huge so I didn't pick those ones. So to some degree, there was, I didn't have any basis, and if you want me to pick some more. So then you can see when I started, I've got your cover page. I did a little picture with the Riverside Council, and then I've got their data, and you should end up with mayor and council on that, okay? And so then everything that follows is if they had it. And so Stockton had it and Riverside had it. I've got those ones. And then let's see, who else do we have in here? Orange County, they had some really good data there, and Santa Ana is in Orange County, but it's not Orange County. So that one is just, but right there at that top with the blue stripe, I didn't do them in color, I'm sorry. But that page, it's got all the elected officials. They make a lot though, like 170 to 140,000 for the supervisors, but I thought that was interesting because I found it. So I copied it. There weren't a lot of them that I found. And then I just put a blank page in before the city of St. Louis, and under the city of St. Louis, which is it's a bill, is what was approved by them. The mayor is in there, and then the president of the board, it's president board of aldermen is in there. So, but none of the aldermen get paid, it looks like, in the city of St. Louis. So it's just the aldermen that gets, the president that gets paid. And those are pretty low wages considering what.
More than I think.
But, right, but look at like the pest control worker makes 4 times what either the mayor or the
Yeah. Yeah.
So that one was kind of interesting. And then the last one I probably should have made in the first packet, the last attachment. It's from the Association of Alaska School Boards. And it is just excerpts from that report. But it does have, I included like the cover pages in the keys so that you could figure that out. But then the school board pay is that tiny little chart. That's the last 2 pages.
Okay. Yeah, those are tiny numbers.
But they're tiny numbers to begin with.
Right, right, yeah.
Ours are the biggest, pretty much, yeah.
Going back.
So I figure that is most of the data you asked for. If I missed anything, we can certainly go back and collect anything else that you're looking for.
I have a few questions, but first I'll ask Pat Mary Ann. Any questions?
I have 2 copies. Should I have 2 copies?
There's
of
2
statewide?
pages.
But no, they start with the same.
Oh,
They look the same.
oh, sorry, my mistake then. I don't know if there were 2 pages in the document or I just printed it twice. That must be it.
I
yes.
just wanted to make sure I didn't have somebody else's.
No, I printed it twice. I've got 2 in mine too.
On the school board, yeah.
Yeah.
How do you quantify all of their benefits for comparison purposes?
Well, fortunately, I don't do that.
Oh, I'm just asking.
Okay, this is from our budget system. So the benefits that are for example, if you want to look at the mayor's.
I was thinking of other municipalities and cities. I don't know the number, although hers would be pretty comparable throughout the country. As far as percentages.
Oh, percentages.
Right, not as far as
Mhm.
contributions.
Yeah, so
Okay.
what I am anticipating is like on the mayor's sheet, his salary is the 129, but the medical, the retirement, the Social Security, Medicare, leave, unemployment, all of that other, those are mathematical functions that are, calculated in employee relations and OMB and those departments. They're not,
Right.
I don't think that they're a function that can be adjusted by.
No, but
Okay.
some mayors have the benefit of a car and a chauffeur and their own
Oh,
plane.
right, yeah,
that
and,
sort of-
and that's a whole
It's
nother.
not
Right.
It's a
in
whole
our
nother.
situation.
No.
I didn't get into that. If you want me to, we'd have to
No,
do
no, I'm
that.
just-
No,
That
but
would be
we,
different.
and at one time, we did have some of that, but we don't now. So we took that away.
So I have a question that, I don't know if you know the answer. But
Okay,
on the medical
yes.
that's listed, so there's kind of one number that applies to all the assembly members. I see it's the same number.
Which one are you?
Okay.
I'm looking at this benefit costing details
Mhm.
with the salary in the next column is
Mhm.
medical. And then if you look at the mayor, it's a significantly higher number. But I would think that, benefits costs for medical are kind of a function of per person, not,
Well, it's
and not per
family.
salary. So I'm wondering why is it so different?
I think I may know part of the answer why it's different is that the mayor is considered a full-time employee. So the mayor gets full-time employee benefits, and I know that the assembly members are different.
Yes, and when we set the compensation, I think we specified the amount that they're allotted. I have to look here in the resolution for the assembly of the school board, for medical. Because at one point, the school board didn't even have medical before. I think it's on section 7. Section 7 of that resolution.
I see that. Okay. Do you know if
And that,
Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, is going to override this and change how medical is paid for?
As far as I know, it should absolutely not have any impact on, because we're, at least it doesn't for 2014.
In the long run, it does.
What?
It will impact it because if this is considered a Cadillac plan compared to the standard plan, then the recipients are subject to additional taxes. That's the long range plan. They're phasing them all in. That's one of the last ones they hit. because it has such a dramatic effect.
That would be though for the mayors, but I don't think it would affect because the
Yeah, so
assembly and
probably
school
not.
board are part-time and then not,
You have to be 3/4 time before it triggers, if I
Yeah.
understand it correctly.
Over 30
And
hours.
interestingly,
and these aren't paid by the hour, so. Are they?
Oh, but it does, if it's a yearly salary.
we all are.
Even the assembly?
All of us, yeah. It comes out to, which is really weird because it's like about $8 an hour.
Yeah,
It's
well.
really weird.
That sounds about right. They're supposed to be donating their time.
Okay.
So I don't, if you would like more information on medical, I could certainly, we could get that for you. If you would, we could even provide it by email, since I know you probably don't want to meet again to have to hear about that.
Can I ask one last, maybe not, but just to flesh that out. So if you're on the assembly, does the system take your annual salary and divide it by 2,080 and then pay you by the hour as if you're working 40 hours a week?
I believe so. Isn't that
Yeah,
bizarre?
well, I just
You
wonder
know,
if that's gonna trigger.
You
Affordable
guys
Care
are going
Act.
to be in trouble.
I mean, not
Actually,
just in my business.
Is there something though that may exempt, we haven't read all the stuff, is there something that exempts elected officials?
No. They have to be specifically named, like the Congress. United
Well, they should
States.
be on, never mind, I don't want this on the record.
What is other?
Where do you see other?
Other is way over there.
Are we looking on the mayor or?
$189.
No, $310.
Yeah, 310 for 2014.
Okay.
Do we know what that is?
I do not
No.
know what that
Sure we
is.
know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But you're right, all the others are mathematical formulas.
And it appears the same. The assembly has an other of $28.
Right.
I wonder if that might be like an administrative fee or something. That doesn't make sense. What would that be? I don't know.
It wouldn't be office expense for your.
No, it is absolutely not. It's not an office expense because it's in the salary and benefits module. It is specifically a benefit. It has something to do with.
Well, it was the percentage increase from 13 to 14 was significantly higher.
This,
Mhm.
the way our resolution was written, this amount of $250 biweekly for the assembly or school board, they can actually do anything they want with it. They could use it for medical or they could use it for other things. So, and it's a tax. It was.
Is it like a stipend?
Yeah, it is. To be used to purchase, they could either purchase municipal medical coverage or they could use it for something else. But if you gave somebody this amount for medical coverage, you needed to give somebody, some of them may have their own medical coverage through their own other employment.
Or retirement.
Retirement,
Right.
like, yeah, which is
Right.
what, see, I wouldn't, because I have my own. And so I wouldn't have taken it. But I'd take the extra money to use somewhere else.
And that's, so I know that one time the assembly members were talking about their salary, and I said that the salary is, about 28 or 29,000. And one of them said, "No, you're mistaken. It's like 32." or something like that, or 35.
Well,
And so that person, it does appear as income to our assembly members.
mhm.
So, they don't consider, some of them don't consider their salary to be the 28. They believe it's the 28 plus the medical.
The other is, when they're showing other here, that's a cost, whatever it is, that might be, it's not unemployment. That's a cost, not necessarily something that they receive, but it's a cost of the benefit to the city. Just like it shows Medicare here,
Mhm.
and a portion is, a
Right.
portion of you pay and a portion your employer pays, and this is the total amount.
And that Social Security's the same way.
The same way, yeah.
Yeah, it could be disability insurance, it could be, some other type of benefit like that. Vision.
It may,
I guess,
and it may
you know.
not be anything that they actually receive, but it's a cost to the city. What it is, I don't
And
know.
that's what this really is for, is what does that position
Cost
cost?
the city. Well, and what we were looking at too was to see what this is for 2014. So the mayor's went up this.
Well, this doesn't look like it's going to be scientific because it's all over the map and these comparables, but if it's, it's good. It's good information just to see, what how wide the dispersion is.
And I tried to make like that, provide you some information about the locality, because I thought that would probably have some bearing on your decision. Too bad we don't have something like, but even this probably wouldn't help us because Alaska isn't, we don't have enough comparables really. We're back to the same thing.
Do they have stipends and benefits? Do most of them give the same benefits? as,
I have
Not an amount,
absolutely, I have absolutely no way
I
of.
mean, you didn't read every single report.
Well, even the ones that I provided to you don't show, they don't show necessarily benefits. It's just gonna be salary. And then I'd have to pull up the benefits for each one, so.
I was just hoping too much for too much. I'm not interested in the numbers as much as what they are for. They even have data in here on daily meal reimbursements and everything. Other benefits.
This is interesting because I'm looking at 2014, and our resolution said that the assembly in 2012 would have a salary of 28,024, and they're showing in 2014 to be 28,013. So actually, that's only $2, but I'm wondering why.
$11.
And it shows the same for 2013.
Did you know why that is passed?
Did they not take the 4% increase?
Is it, how much money is it actually, the difference?
It's like $4 or $5. Oh, you think it has to do with the accounting?
It does.
Okay.
And so what the municipality does is it has to be an even number per hour. So it can't be, $8.23 they wouldn't even like 24 cents. They'll go for that because it can't be a repeating number when you divide it by 2,080.
Some of the other benefits, it just, because I'm interested, cell phones, utility billing credit. They get credits against their water bill, sewer, internet, professional and civic memberships, and lots of trainings and conferences, and credit cards, up to 3,000 limit. How do we move like that? My curiosity is satisfied. Thank you.
That is,
Interesting.
Well, anyone have a sense of whether we should try to adjust these salaries for this year or next?
Well, they wouldn't affect, anything we do today would not affect anyone that's in elected office at the current time.
Right.
They wouldn't even actually go into effect for 2 years out.
but it could affect anyone who gets elected on April 1st.
If we take action
Before April 1st.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's
Yes.
possible a newly elected official would be paid more?
If we recommended a different salary.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
And that's happened before.
yes. Actually, yeah, because it wouldn't, let's see, how did we do it before the budget year starts on July 1st?
No,
No, it doesn't either.
It's January.
It's the election. That was
The mayor starts
the mayor's
July 1st.
July 1st. I remember we had these big arguments about the percentage of increase.
Well, you know, there hasn't been a lot of wage inflation,
No,
No.
not in the city,
or not nationally.
not anywhere. It's kind of
And in
flat.
fact, there have been
And I-
requests for decreases.
And I didn't put any numbers together on that for you.
That's all right.
I did notice that in the U.S. Department of Labor statistics, it said that the growth rate in this legislative occupation is 6%, which is slower than average. So I don't know what that means, but we're not adding new legislators? I don't know.
Well, I see, I don't think that, those old numbers were a 4% increase, and I don't think this environment is, is tracking that externally, but it seems like the range is like between 0 and 2% or something. And the question is, do we take no action or do something that approximates inflation?
You may be interested that, that one of the things that muni employees were CPI plus 1.5%, or I think that was part of the AO 37 was CPI plus 1% in the future, and I can't tell you that muni employees, non-reps, and execs got a 1.5% raise in January. So that's what it looks like they think the number is. If you want me to go up and pull some of those numbers for what wages are going up, I could.
But these
Okay.
people have gotten a 4% raise, 4%. What?
Well, they did it up
They-
through 2011 in the case of the mayor, and through 2012 in the case of the assembly, and then
So it
it's
held
been
at
still.
that.
Yes,
Still-
held at that.
Yeah.
It's at that now. It stays there until we change. That was what we wanted to see too. Did it hold at that? And it did, so.
So basically, it works out that they have been increasing more than 1.5. if you take it the whole number of
Well,
years.
if you look
But-
that far.
Right, but I can't tell you that that's what's happened.
No, I'm
Okay,
just talking
okay,
about what
right.
we've got before us.
Yeah.
But they they haven't had, they're not increasing now.
I understand
Yeah,
that.
and-
But they increased at 4%.
Right. For those.
For how many years?
2
2 years?
Let's
and
see,
now-
it was 2010 and 2011 for the mayor, so it was
It's 2 years.
2 years, and it was 2000. It's 2011, 2010, 11, and 12 for the assembly. I think that was because they hadn't had any in a long time, and then we added in the medical. And anyway, to get all of this, to bring them up to a little bit more
Mhm.
where they're at, and which is, to me, where they're at now is pretty reasonable. I guess, I don't know if I want to pay them anymore.
I don't think in the present economic,
I don't think it's, yeah. And they only
environment.
meet twice a month now. Well, they meet a lot more than that, but as an
sort of
assembly,
work sessions.
they only meet twice a month.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
For
I'm
2
between 0
years
and
they've
2%.
had-
Yeah, that's kind
Well,
of
they,
what.
for 2 years, they had 4% a year, and then for 2 years, they've had none. So basically, for the past 4 years, it's been more than 2%. When you consider the time value of money, don't you hate accountants?
Oh.
Might be less, actually.
No more, because the 4% now is worth a lot more than 2% in the future.
I just wonder if you take 1.04 squared, and you take 1.02 to the fourth, I think the 1.02 to the fourth would be a higher number. But we have a calculator, we
Yes,
could do it.
we could. But the question
Right.
is, really, do we think they need it more now,
Well,
or need an increase at this point?
See, this would affect incoming assembly people. And it wouldn't affect the mayor until, we have time, it wouldn't affect the mayor until the next 2015, I think the way
July
this
of
is.
2015.
Yeah. So we can wait on it and decide if we wanted to make a change at the mayor's, we could do that.
Well, they're not all tied, we don't have to do them all in lockstep.
No.
Because like Pat said, and Steve said you have to do it before April 1st for the
Right.
assembly.
Mhm.
That would be newly elected assembly members after April 1st of 14, but the mayor isn't elected until April 1st of 15, so you'd have to do it before April 1st of 15.
The assembly has had their 4% for 3 years,
Since the assembly.
10, 11, and 12.
Yes, they had, well, it depended on when they were elected.
I understand,
Yeah.
yes.
But, it doesn't say that about them, it just says, but I think there's somewhere else that it says that it can't affect the current.
I remember reading that.
It's not in this resolution, but it's in the ordinance, I think that's what it said. Okay, so the assembly we gave them a raise, it was effective for newly elected or re-elected to the same office. Received, we set an amount in 2010, we set an amount. And then And then in 2011, we sent a 4% increase, in 2012, a 4% increase. Again, for newly elected or officials newly re-elected to the same office. I think we had to set that amount because the amount that they had was considerably lower. It's like $1,200 or something. It wasn't an amount. It was considerably less. And,
But I do think I think your memory is that we raised the assembly and the school board more because they started from a number that we thought was too low.
Way
So it
low,
wasn't-
yeah.
So it wasn't, it's
it
not
wasn't,
like.
they got a big,
whether-
yeah.
So, I don't know, and my inclination, I don't know, I mean, just looking at these, is that I think the assembly and the school board could use at least a raise that's kind of in line with inflation. But I think the mayor's salary at 130-ish still feels about right. But it's just a judgment call. I mean, there's no, all this is just
Nothing
judgment. It's not scientific.
You may
Yeah.
want to, have you looked at the employee salary report that gets published?
Not recently, but I look at it when it gets published, yes.
One of the issues that happens when it gets published is the number of employees that make more than the mayor.
Right.
There's probably like 50, 75 employees that make more than the mayor. And so that one is always kind of interesting. And I'm
Yeah.
just wondering if you want to look at anything like that and see what.
I don't see, to me, it's comparing apples. and
Yeah,
oranges.
this is exactly what I was thinking.
Okay, I just wanted to
Oh,
make sure
Just
because.
so you have the information, yeah.
So one of the things that does happen is when the municipality hires executives, our CFO, municipal
more.
manager, MLMP, our lawyer, they can't be paid more than the mayor.
Oh, they can't be
That's
really?
paid.
silly.
Oh, because they're executives. They can't be paid.
Well, I shouldn't say they can't be, of course they could be, but it's just my understanding that.
There have been times when they were paid more than the mayor, though.
There probably was before. I'm just throwing that out there for you.
But it
Yeah, I
makes
mean-
no rational sense.
Well, I do know though at the state level, the heads of and I have a friend who's now the head of one of those big head of whatever, commissioner or something.
Mhm.
And when he moved into that position, he actually took a pay cut because he had been looked further down in the staff, and then when he became the commissioner, he took a pay cut because of his position.
It's all those ranges and steps.
Yes,
'Cause
and
we
they're
haven't
not
started.
in that. They're out of that. They are appointed, so it's a different thing. So I don't know how the city works, but they may have some rule. But we didn't base our salary thing based on what those executives receive. We based it on and it's a different skill set.
It is.
I like it's apples and oranges.
Yeah.
It's a different skill set for some of them.
And I think I understand, I just wanted to throw that out for you. I
No,
mean,
it's
to
good.
some
It's all
degree,
information.
it's more like the assembly members, you're really a volunteer. So,
Well, and the way, if you're recruiting for the city attorney, they've got to have a specific skill set. And you are going out and asking them to come in and work for you. Candidates volunteer to run and serve. So their skill set is not as clearly defined as an executive. Does that make sense?
well, it does, but you can imagine, I'm just gonna
Mhm.
be the devil's advocate. If the reality is that we're not offering the attorney with the skill set
That we want.
more than the mayor. And I don't know if that's the policy or not, but and I can tell you, he doesn't make more than the mayor, I know that. Neither does the municipal manager or the CFO. But you can see that that makes it difficult to recruit at those
Oh,
high levels.
absolutely.
Yeah, I could see that.
I wouldn't be the
Yeah.
CFO of the city for that salary for any amount of money in the world, for period, for any reason.
So,
But you'd have to get someone else to explain that rationale, not me.
And is that and that may be a policy, is that a policy or is that a,
I don't know.
oh, okay. That'd be something to find
It
out.
could just
Set the
be, it could
policy.
just be like urban legend, but,
It's easy enough to find out. Well, not necessarily. But yeah, because
no,
I would be
it would
surprised.
be- We could
Yeah.
find that out. It
Yeah.
would be something that, the director of employee relations could answer that question for us.
Who would set the policy though, that would say something like that?
Well, there's, part of it's in the code, so let's see. Could you hand me, we need Title 3. Yeah.
we're getting close to 6.
Oh, okay.
Crooked chair.
It's been so long since I've looked at a hard copy of code. I'm so used to just, doing research on my own.
Supposed to be good for brain wiring.
Mhm. It does.
Okay.
So it should have like ranges for,
20,
That's-
20,
yeah.
21, 22.
Two.
Yeah.
so the municipal manager goes to 25E.
Yeah.
I think it'd be easier to compare attorneys or CFO to the mayor.
Yeah, boy, there's, this is just like a special solution, like it sure doesn't jump out.
So that's something they said they could actually adjust if it's in code.
Well, I think we took out the minimums and maximums in here, and it just says, see the wage scale published by employee relations. But you can see the way that they've got it set up. They've got the executives, so there's municipal attorney, there's the municipal attorney, there's the chief fiscal officer, there's the municipal manager, so they're set up in categories. And then the pay scales are set up from 20 to 22 to 23, the ranges. And then the ranges are, the mayor's at the top of the range. So this is a 25E, it doesn't say the mayor, but I'm guessing that. So we stop at municipal manager.
Yeah, because that's why we're here, is to
Mhm.
set that position. Right? Yeah, I mean, it might be an unofficial policy, but I
Policy,
sure don't
but-
see anything in there that.
Yeah, that
actually
requires
makes it.
that.
Well, if the new mayor is elected, does he come in at a range?
No,
Or
he
what-
comes in at what, he
or
comes in at what
set by
this
the
is.
school?
He or
Yeah.
she would be whatever you
You,
set.
whatever we set.
Mhm.
And if we set this and I
All the
just,
others, the executives, have to come in at a range and a step,
No, executives don't have a step.
just a range.
Correct.
So do I need to go tell the guard that
I'll go tell the guard, what car?
it's a Toyota Land Cruiser?
Toyota Land
I
Cruiser.
did run the plates.
Okay,
It's already got a.
She already
copy.
did.
you've got a hood,
Uh-huh.
okay?
It's red HHR with I vote.
Oh, that's right. Easy, I vote and I did not.
It's true. It's an easy one. It was a good idea to begin with, but
But I really do have to get going soon.
Yeah,
mean,
I have another-
I have someone that's supposed to be picked up at 6, so.
Oh, okay, so
Um,
we're gonna be out of here.
I think it just comes down to, I don't see that we are necessarily short-changing, or I don't know, short-stopping, whatever, it is, cutting off the Assembly's ability to set the code for all the pay ranges.
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't
Everyone else in
either.
the administration.
Absolutely.
So it's really what is the appropriate pay level.
But it does just sort of pique your curiosity, where did the practice come from?
So
Do we need a motion
Yeah,
to-
I'd like to know, yeah, or at least
Or-
kind of know where you're
Well-
coming from and, what's your opinion on.
I think we're okay. So this would be 2015, well, let's see. Yeah, I think we're okay right now, where we're at. But this is be 2015, this is another year.
So.
We might want to talk more seriously. We have time, but we can,
If we
for the
can
next.
address this, right now we have to address the assembly before April 1, right?
Right.
Well,
Well,
actually, we
we're
don't
talking-
have
We don't
to.
have
We don't
to.
have to. If we don't take action, final action, the way I understand it, until, say, April 2nd,
Uh-huh.
it still takes effect. It's just for the people elected the next time around.
Right.
First elected the next time around, not for
Mhm.
that.
But I
election.
don't see any pressing need to adjust the assembly. So I don't see that urgency.
I don't either.
The mayor, I think we can wait. But when, now, let me make me absolutely clear on what time frame, if we waited until next year. That's the fiscal year, is calendar year?
Yes.
Okay. So when the mayor would be elected in April of 2015, he would be under
Or she.
they. Okay. Thank you. I'm
We
so
would,
glad
we would
have
have to, if we chose to make it effective July 1st, 2015, we would have to pass it, and it has to go to the assembly too, what we do, isn't it, right? Because that made,
Was that approved by the assembly?
oh, no, it wasn't, it's a resolution from us, yeah, it wasn't approved by the assembly. But we would need to pass it. Seems like we would need to do it in October or November. There's a deadline so that they can use it by the budget, for
It-
budgeting.
It depends what it is.
But we do need to do
I'm-
it before
I'm-
the end of.
No, it's back to, it's what Steve said, you have to do it before they're elected.
Right.
So it's before April, the April election.
I mean, we might make budget problems for them by taking action after they've passed their budget. but
Yeah.
it still
But
takes
that's
effect.
such a
That's correct.
small
You know.
amount.
And so
Yeah.
remember, and the reason that OMB actually called me before the last meeting was we're doing first quarter budget amendments
Oh.
based on the fund balance at the end of 2013. So and obviously the muni has plans for those funds and you don't want to plan them.
They didn't want us to use them. No.
Well, so I think you could certainly meet in the fall, but departments are supposed to have our budgets done in July or
okay.
August. And so, so really, whatever you do, I think is fairly inconsequential
Absolutely.
in the scheme of the Muni's
Mm.
budget,
So big.
that it's really at your convenience. I mean, unless you're gonna raise somebody's salary 20 or 30,000 a year, then I think we would need to address it, you know, the sooner the better, but.
Well, my feeling is to leave the assembly alone and to wait until the fall to look at the mayor's.
So,
I move that we retain the current amounts for assembly and school board as it currently appears. The current schedule for the assembly and school board as it is.
Second the motion.
okay, it's moved and seconded, and under discussion, just want to say, I think that the sense of the committee is no action by one member, no action by another member, and maybe no action with respect to the mayor, but maybe action with respect to assembly and school boards with the third member. So probably the consensus of the committee is no action. But if I understand, what are you?
I guess.
I don't know if you need to make a motion to take no action, unless you want to.
I think we should have it on the record officially that
That we didn't just overlook it?
Yeah, and I'm wondering if my motion was really correct, because I wanted to use the same, the figures to say remain as they currently are for the school board and the assembly.
And
So,
would there be a motion after that regarding the mayor? Or?
Yeah, I didn't make a motion for the mayor
Okay,
yet.
so you're taking one at a time. That's your.
Just the assembly and school
Okay.
board are one, in fact, they were one thing, and then so that would be.
Okay. Does this need to be roll call?
No, you don't have to do a roll call.
You can say, is there any objection?
Yeah, well, I would unless they had to be a roll call. That's why
Yeah.
I was asking. Okay, so there is it in the objection.
No.
Okay, hearing none, motion carries.
So this, and then for the.
The mayor.
And I'm not gonna make I think we should re-look at the mayor again, maybe in the fall, and see what, maybe individually we can look up a couple of things, and if we have some recommendation, that would still give us time to fit to do things before the,
And even though the department budgets are done in
Mhm.
the summer, the assembly does amendments on the
Oh, I
floor.
know.
So, I could take it to OMB and we could have, I'd have the assembly do the motion on the floor too. That might be a little awkward.
yeah, no.
We'd figure it out.
We'll-
OMB and the clerk's office
Yeah.
would figure it out. We wouldn't involve the assembly or the mayor, but if you wanna come back in the fall, we would.
Do you wanna do it sooner? Do we wanna look at it? Yeah, I think we should. We probably should. I think we should look at it again.
Because, I'm,
Oh.
I'm
Well,
the
yeah.
opposite view. I'm feeling, my view is that the mayor's salary is okay, but the assembly and school board aren't. So it's really your motion of what you want to see happen.
Well, I can't see any reason not to look at it in the fall.
Okay.
But Pat, do you think we should make the motion?
I don't know.
I'm just gonna tell you, I would be happy to set up a meeting for you in the fall, because it's sure a lot better than having you be out there 2 years almost 2 years without a meeting. And the
Oh,
code
yeah.
says that you have to meet at least, I think at least once a year. So
Yeah.
I would be happy to set up a meeting for you in the fall.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
Okay?
It's fine. I don't think we need a motion. do we?
Yeah, I don't
Oh.
think you need a motion for that if you don't want.
I don't think you needed a motion for the other one. But it's okay.
Okay, so then we'll be, I can take this home, or do I want to put it in here?
Absolutely, that's yours.
Okay.
In my recycle bin. No,
Do you want any of it electronically?
that would be, now that you've put all this paper in here, but that would actually be better. No, not this. I don't want another thing in my computer either.
And so I would reprint that too. Just
Yeah,
with more paper.
then we'd have more. It
Any other old
was.
business?
Oh, did we resolve the issue about the?
I'm sorry, I did not resolve that issue. I still have that issue outstanding. May I respond to you by email about MLMP and AWWU?
Yes.
Okay.
Good.
Is there any other old business?
I don't think so.
Any new business? Any public comments? Hearing none. Member comments? Move- yeah.
Oh.
Entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll move to adjourn.
Second.
Okay. Is there any objection? Hearing none, we're adjourned.